What we know today as the Hotel Vancouver actually began as a completely different concept. This was originally the Grand Trunk Pacific's concept for a chateau-style hotel in Prince Rupert, and construction had begun in 1913, but when the Grand Trunk Pacific went bankrupt in 1920 and absorbed into Canadian National Railways in 1923, that vision came to a swift end. Now, years earlier, the Canadian Northern Railway would make a deal with the city of Vancouver, where the city would prepare the tidal flats on False Creek for a new passenger station, which is today's Pacific Central, and in return, the Canadian Northern would make Vancouver their western terminus of their railway, as well as guarantee the construction of a new luxury hotel in downtown. Well, they went bankrupt before the station even opened, and CN would complete it in 1919. Now, 1928 would see CN dust off those abandoned Grand Trunk Pacific Chateau plans and repurpose them for this long-promised hotel in what would become the largest construction project in the city's history to date. This would be a luxury hotel named the Canadian, which shortly after would change to the British Columbian, and it would stand directly across the street from the Canadian Pacific's second Hotel Vancouver. Now, construction began in December of 1928, and by 1930, the entire exterior was complete, including the 12 months it took 12 men to complete all the stonework, all the sculptures, carvings, and detailings by hand. But enter the Great Depression, and while the exterior was complete, the shell would sit empty and unfinished for almost a decade. Now, by this time, the Canadian Pacific's hotel across the street was quite literally falling apart, as all their hotels of the era were built to expand, not to last. Their hotel was the original Hotel Vancouver, built in 1896, with the second Hotel Vancouver built on top in 1916. Now, the catalyst to completion was actually King George and Queen Elizabeth, who were scheduled to come visit Vancouver during the Royal War Tour of 1939. And the Canadian Pacific and Canadian National would make a deal. CP would finance the completion of the hotel, ownership would split 50-50, and CP would permanently close their aging Hotel Vancouver across the street upon opening day, and the new hotel would inherit the name, the Hotel Vancouver. And on May 28th of 1939, the third Hotel Vancouver would officially open her doors, claiming the title as the city's tallest building, designed in a beautiful chateau style, featuring smooth Indiana limestone facade, heavily tilted copper roofs. I mean, the stonework alone is fantastic to appreciate. And King George and Queen Elizabeth were the first two guests ever on the hotel's registry. The Royal Tour would kick off with the Canadian Pacific hauling the Royals west from Quebec City to Vancouver, with the Canadian National taking them back east, Vancouver to Ottawa. Now, if you are a train nerd like me, check out the beautiful Hudson-class locomotive that CP ran them in. I actually got a chance to see that one up close and personal in Squamish a few weeks ago, so you can check out that video after this one. But also, the streamlined 6400 locomotive that CN ran the Royals back in. I mean, the level of pride that both railways took in designing these engines, I truly find inspiring. And there's actually a really cool mural of the 6400 locomotives today at Pacific Central Station, inside the A&W of all places. Now, in 1968, the Canadian National would buy out CP's share of the hotel, gaining full ownership. But into the 1970s, passenger rail travel was on a steep decline and all the railway hotels were bleeding money, so that by 1988, the Canadian Pacific would purchase the Hotel Vancouver back from CN, as well as all the remaining hotels, including the Queen Elizabeth in Montreal, the Chateau Laurier in Ottawa, Hotel Macdonald in Edmonton, and the Jasper Park Lodge. Now, the year 2000 would see CP acquire Fairmont Hotels, rebranding the entire hotel collection as Fairmont. This was a clip for a full-length show. If you want to watch the full episode of the clip you just saw, click right here, you get the full show, and they go up live every single Sunday. If you want more clips of what you just saw, click right here, you can see the next great hit.